All right, everyone, here is lesson 10, Logic of English Prep. Let me go over the phonograms you're going to need. Well, first of all, you're going to need all the phonograms we've taught so far. Again, I'm going to have you pause the video and have either a student or yourself go through the phonogram sounds you've done so far this year. Here's your new ones, the OU, the OW, and the OUGH. I call these the hurting sounds because they all make sounds like when we get hurt, and I introduced that to the students. This rule card is also used again about the GH being at the end of a word or before a T, and the sound it makes is nothing or a f sound. Another rule they have you use is that plural rule where if it ends in a hissing sound, you add an ES, but that comes later for the grammar portion. Couple things. These are probably your trickiest sounds, so if we can get past this lesson, then we're doing pretty well as far as these sounds because they make a lot of sounds. So I give the kids some tips in the video. I start with this one because it's the easiest. It only makes two. It goes ow, oh. So that's the sound that one makes. This one, I teach them how to do it through twinkle twinkle because I don't know how else. So I learned it ow, oh, ooh. That's the sound OU makes in an English word. Because as a 40-something-year-old, I have no idea how else I would memorize that. So they both make the same first two most common sounds, ow, oh. This is the one that may not be used at the end of English words. This is the one that may. All right. And then for this one, I'm actually going to divert from Logic of English here, and I hope that's okay. If you guys aren't comfortable with that, please just let me know. The way that they teach the pairs of sounds, I think, is trickier for the students. I prefer to memorize them in pairs, so I have this poster, and I'll put one of these posters in each of your box. So this one makes actually 6 sounds. It's ridiculous how many sounds it makes. And the first 3 are probably your most common. So if the students can get the pairs, I think that's pretty beneficial. So it's a skier, and you know, if we've ever, any of us have ever flown or skied or whatever, you know, these are sounds that you would make as you're rolling down a hill. So I kind of like it. So here's your sounds. It's o-oo, uff, off, aw, ow. Can you see the symbols? O-oo, uff, off, aw, ow. So I learn it with sort of like a rhythm, almost like a rap. So it's oh, ooh, uff, off, aw, ow. Oh, ooh, uff, off, aw, ow. Now, I'm sure some of you are like, Steve, I'm never doing that and won't. And that's totally fine. I understand it. But I give the kids a challenge that if they can come up to me in the hallway and tell me the 6 sounds and they have conquered this phonogram, this is going to be your most difficult phonogram to learn. And so I'm going to try to create some stickers so that I can hand out stickers to kids that actually master this one. It's tricky. Okay, let's get into the first part of the lesson. The lesson that I give for day 1 is kind of lengthy because it takes so long. On page 161 of the student guide, they have lots of words that have the OUGH, but again, they use a different numbering set. Does that make sense? Their first sound, second sound, third, all the way to 6 is slightly different. So they're asking you to mark them with a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6 based on the sound it makes. I would say the benefit of, or I would say you can skip that as far as the numbering. You could have them read them though, because up above there's clues as to what sounds they make, but we're not going to mark them because that would be confusing because I've taught them a different just order of sounds that I think is more logical. And there's tons of sentences. Look at all these sentences with OU, OW, and OUGH. Second grade teachers, this is probably pretty tricky. You may have to read them with them. I think there's lots you can do with this. What they want you to do is go through and in each sentence look for these words and tally every time you hear the ow sound, tally every time you hear the o sound for this, tally every time you hear these sounds. I think that's kind of tricky, a little bit hard for even 3rd grade students, but the whole point is by the end you should notice that the first sound is the most common, the ow sound. The second sound, o, is probably the second most common, and then these later sounds are not very common. So remember that whole flip the sound that we learned through Cafe and the Daily 5? That's really good with this because you can think ow or o, and then if you have to, you can go into your other sounds. There's lots to do with this. You could take these, have them write them in a journal somewhere, illustrate them. It's just an idea. There's also a game, which is a good way to reinforce the sounds we've learned so far this year. And then there's also a crossword puzzle. All of that before you actually get to 172 where we do the words. So I would say pick and choose and see how much time you have. Let's go over the words real quick. Otherwise, this is going to be too long for you all. Okay, so I'm going to start with list A. If you're list B, you can skip ahead. So number 1 is the word play. So you're going to P-O-A, play, and then have them underline. It's the A that we may use. Number 2, shout. Sh-out. Tell them to use the ow, o, oo, that I may not use at the end of an English word. Now at this point, you as the teacher may not have memorized this. So you could have the 2 fingers up and you can say, it goes ow, oh, and I can't use it at the end of an English word, and that should hopefully give them a clue about this. Number 3, whisper. I would say to spell whisper. So you've got w-i-s-p-er. There's 2 syllables. Whisper. And this is the of her. So they're going to underline the w, underline the Number 4, sing. S-i-ng. Sing, and underline this or underline the ing altogether. It's up to you. Number 5 is agree. Here the schwa, we don't spell it agree, but we say it agree. So say to spell agree. So it's A-G-E-E-E. I can't even do my 2 fingers like that. Number 6, cough. K-off. By that 4, they should just automatically know, oh yeah, that's our new one. I wouldn't put any number over the top because, again, our number order is different, but underline it. Number 7, help. Help. Those kids that speak other languages, we really need to enunciate. That's the like e. Number 8, wait. Wait. Use the A, 2-letter A that we may not use at the end of words. Number 9, touch. Touch. Again, use the ow, o, oo, This is the one we can't use at the end of a word, so underline, underline. Sleep is 10, sleep. 11 is destroy, and stretch it out like that. Destroy. D-e-st-er-oi. Use the oi that I can use. Number 12, think. Think. Emphasize this is the I, like I, so they don't put an E there. Underline the TH. Number 13, open. Open. O-P-E-N. Number 14 is fight. Fight. Use the 3-letter I. And number 15, pound. Ow. Use the ow that we may not use at the end of an English word. Now looking through that, you've got 1 O-U-G-H. You've got shout. You've got touch, and you've got pound. So there's actually not that many words to review the pattern that we're doing, and there's not a single OW. I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but that is the case. List B, here we go. Cheat, number 1. Eat. Make sure you emphasize it's the E-A, underline, underline. 2 is quiver. Quiver. So you got qua-iv. Use the of her. Number 3 is howl. Owl. Use the ow-o. Tell them this is the one I may use at the end of words so they remember it's the O-W. Number 4, echo. Say to spell echo. E-k-o. And this is the ch-k-sh. That's a tricky one. 5 is cartwheel. Cartwheel. K-art. E. Oh, I can't do all my fingers like that. Yeah, anyway, there's my E-double-E. Maybe flip it around. Good luck with that one. Number 6, crawl. K-er-aw-ul. Use the aw that we may use at the end of a word. 7 is leap. Leap. Underline your E-A. Number 8, melt. 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 Emphasize it's the E. You can even have them put the symbol if you want over the top. Number 9, whale. W-A-L. Use the A that you can't use. Number 10 is hard, swallow. Say it to spell swallow, so they hear both O's. Ul, O, and it's the ow, O. Remember, this is our Waldo rule. That's why it's making an aw sound, swallow. Number 11, vanish, van-ish, van-ish. Underline your SH. Speak is number 12, speak. Use the E-A. 13 is soar, S-O-R. This is the O, two-letter O, that we may not use or don't use at the end of an English word. It's the O-A. 14 is scowl, sk-owl. Use the ow-o, the one that we may use. And then sweep, 15, sweep, and underline this. I hope that helps you. There are letters going home this week to let the kids practice the words at home because I think that's really beneficial. We talked about this a little bit to have that homeschool communication. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.